James. We talked about it. We pondered what might happen after Conte's kind of explosive comments and also just generally the way that Spurs are playing. But after criticising the players for being selfish, criticising the club, the ownership, and again, he said that he was just criticising the players, but he criticised everybody that has any sort of association with Tottenham. Let's be fair. Antonio Conte has now left Spurs by mutual agreement. Presumably they would have agreed on some sort of settlement for him to buy himself out of his contract. I'm sure he wanted out of there, but as we know with Conte, he always wants his money. And fair enough to him. He's entitled to it, so why not? Initial reactions. I mean, we're going to kind of talk this out for a little bit here because, James, I've got to be honest with you, the short list of names that are supposedly lined up, the main thing I want to talk about is I don't have a lot of faith in these guys coming in. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, initial reactions to this, James.
I know for a fact there was a struggle between the payout because it took a good week and a bit to make the settlement after that interview. Because usually after an interview like that, bang, a few hours later you hear the news,
yeah.
He's gone. You know, it was the thing they're pondering. Can we work out this? Can we work out that? It felt like that, but is there really that much of a surprise? No. And does Conte leave Tottenham and damage his reputation? To a lot of people, no. Because at the end of the day, it's Tottenham and it's hard to win with Tottenham, all that sort of stuff there. There is a little bit of me looking at it saying that when he joined there, he always had an excuse. And it feels like when things went wrong, the first thing was, I'm not going to blame myself. It's just a blame game on like every other thing. And to be fair, being Tottenham manager for him was just an easy excuse, an easy way out if things went bad. I felt when Mourinho left, there was a bit of a Jose, what's going on? Like what's going on with him as he lost his lust. With Conte leaving, it's like, it's Tottenham now. Their manager killers anyway. He can just go get the Juventus job. I don't know, the Italian job. And even if another good Premier League job came right there, I'm pretty sure any team would jump at the chance to get Antonio Conte. So he hasn't lost much there. But Tottenham, it's like, Jack, when we had this conversation before, it was a thing that if they cannot win with Antonio Conte, who is going to get this team to win? If Conte can't do it, who's going to do it? You know, Tottenham have had, okay, after Poch left, yeah, the Nuno stuff just actually went straight through me. I totally forgot that he was the manager for a bit. But they've had 3 huge bites at the cherry. Massive bites at the cherry with 2 of the best managers of this generation and previous generations in Jose and Conte, and they just haven't been able to get the job done. I'm not sure where they go from here, Jack. I really don't know.
And I'm so glad you're getting there, right? Because this is where I think the interesting conversation is. Everybody at home, listen, you're going to hear the same video. I'm sure you subscribe to other football channels. You're at free will to do so. James and I don't blame you, we promise.
Subscribe to our channel, guys. You got to do that.
Yeah, please subscribe to our channel.
You just got to do that, you know.
But everybody will be having the same conversations. The BBC, BT Sport, Sky, you name it. They'll all be having the same conversations about Spurs, and they'll all be saying the same things. What I want to get to is a slightly different part of the conversation. Let's look at the names shortlisted as the next permanent manager based on odds. The favourite is boss Julian Nagelsmann, right? Now, my pronunciation of this director always is terrible, but Salihamidzic, the Bayern Munich director, he fired Nagelsmann, and I think they've won every single game in the Champions League. And
yes, for the past James, 2 seasons, Jack. 2 seasons.
And look set to do very, very well in there. And it wouldn't shock me if they went on to make semi-finals, finals, etc., etc. They're in that kind of form in the Champions League. He doesn't want Bayern Munich to become PSG, this director. So what he does is he sees a team that clearly doesn't really care about domestic football like PSG, right? And he says, we need to keep that standard high. We need to keep that standard high regardless. We need to, culturally, it's Bayern Munich. We need to win every game. We need to win every game. So Nagelsmann's gone, right? Insiders within the Bayern setup see a guy who I longboard to work sometimes, right? Who longboards around the training ground, who shows up on a motorbike. Now, James, I don't know about you, but I don't know how much respect you're getting from the likes of Thomas Müller, Manuel Neuer, if you're riding around on a skateboard and showing up on your motorbike, right? I don't know how that character and that person fits with Tottenham Hotspur, because Julian Nagelsmann, James, I can't think of a worse manager for Tottenham to hire. I really can't,
Wow.
just in terms of no, but think about it. He's a great coach. He's young. He's got great ideas. He's got all this stuff. But if you're trying to change a mindset and a culture of a football club, if you have a guy skateboarding around and on his motorbike, like, no, there needs to be something big and powerful entering that organization, right? And I don't think Nagelsmann's the guy. And I'll go for a couple minutes here. So I'm really sorry. Ryan Mason's next up. Ryan Mason's not even the caretaker manager, James. Don't tell me a 31-year-old Ryan Mason is going to get the full-time managerial job at Spurs and his second favorite to do so if he's not even going to be their caretaker manager for the time being. We'll write him off straight away. And I don't mean to disrespect the guy. Maybe he'd be a good manager in the future. Right now, forget about it. Right, let's go down the list. Pochettino. We already talked about that in a previous video. I'm not going to go over it again. And how many times does it work when the manager goes back and blah, blah, blah? He's going to be jaded. He's going to be tired. Is it going to be the same? Probably not. Okay. Well, we're 3 for 3 for people who I'm not super excited about. Oliver Glasner, right? That's the Frankfurt boss at the moment. Won the Europa League. Okay, maybe has some upside. Could maybe have a Ten Hag effect. But James, that's not a big name who's going to come in and knock Klopp and Pep and the big boys off their spots at the moment. Luis Enrique. Now we're getting somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, maybe we got a shot. Thomas Frank, De Zerbi, Marco Silva, Max Allegri, James, the top 10 names as potential candidates to replace them. I like one of them, maybe two. I'm really, if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm worried because if Conte can't do it, if Mourinho can't do it, if Nuno, who, let's be fair, had some like skin in the game with Wolves, if he can't come in and even do a half decent job, that list of names, James, if it's not Luis Enrique or that Frankfurt boss, I'm worried about what Spurs are going to be. Really worried.
Jack.
Sorry, I talked for a long time now.
No. Jack, to a certain point, I have to agree with you there. Bar Luis Enrique, there isn't a manager there that makes me worry in my boots. Like the way when I heard Conte join, when I heard Mourinho join, I was like, okay, there's gonna be a switch. Maybe Jack, it just takes, a strange manager comes in and then he changes things and he just gets players playing again. But I have to look at Tottenham to me where they are as an overall team. The manager is a big thing, but to me, a thing that really comes out to me is this issue with Harry Kane. Because as much as we can talk about the manager, this issue with Harry Kane has lingered over the club's head for about 2-3 seasons now. Is Harry Kane gonna leave? He deserves better. If I'm Tottenham, of course you got to see this season now. Yeah, you got to see the season out. You have an opportunity to get top 4, do it. But in the summer, more than the manager, rectify what you're gonna do with Harry Kane. Either he goes or he stays. If I'm Tottenham,
sell. I don't think it's a debate anymore, James.
No, but that's what I'm saying. To me, it's not a debate. Kane gotta go.
Take your 120, 140, whatever leave you can get, and then, like I think I said this in the last video, Richarlison era begins. Boom, forget about it. It's Richarlison. Go with him.
The maddest thing about the whole Harry Kane thing is that as great as he is from Tottenham, he's one of the reasons why Tottenham have been unsuccessful. In sometimes taking one of the most precious things out, from short-sightedness, it might be like, what's he doing? Kane going? That might be something that might be a weird thing. Like it might be a blessing in disguise where a player goes out, you give other players responsibilities there, like a Richarlison, like a Son, who we've seen, at times when Kane isn't on the field, he also shines. Because Tottenham may say, you look at the assist to game ratio when Kane's there is big. Of course it's big, but I've also seen big Champions League nights when Harry Kane wasn't there and Son had the mantle and he came up big from Tottenham on so many occasions. And like Jack, we've seen that throughout that whole Champions League run in 2019. Harry Kane wasn't there. You've seen players like Lucas Moura step up. You've seen players like Dele Alli, like Son step up. So to me, getting rid of Harry Kane is bigger than probably signing a top level manager. Moving in a different direction and finding something new, just a breath of fresh air, is to me the best thing for Tottenham.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, a change is as good as a rest, right? That's kind of a known, like a pretty well known saying. That could potentially be it. I think as well, like, I look at like the Arsenal situation, for example. I know this was maybe a little while ago now. Like, maybe not. It's not one transfer window, but two. Maybe it might even be three. I can't even remember. Aubameyang leaves, right? You think we can't get rid of Aubameyang? That's surely our best strike. Like, again, with Gabriel Jesus coming in, like, it's a change, and I don't think there's many people. I think it at the time. I still think it would have been somewhat of a debate of like who's kind of at that time who's kind of better, that kind of thing. James, I also look at Cristiano Ronaldo leaving Manchester United. It's another example where you go,
Jack,
where are the goals coming from? It's like, well,
yeah,
they came from somewhere else. Like, another guy
Jack,
stepped up, like you said.
I'll take it further. In 2006, Thierry Henry left Arsenal, a guy who dominated for 6, 7, 8 years. Best player in the world, best player in the Premier League. You're thinking, with this team of Adebayor, Van Persie, Fabregas, what are we gonna do without our great Thierry Henry? Henry left, and players stepped up. Adebayor went from scoring 7 goals the season before to getting 30.
Right.
The next season when Thierry left. So to me, it's like it might not be the worst thing taking a player like Harry Kane out and then trying something new. And probably for the manager, of course, you're a manager, you're going to want to work with Harry Kane. But if you can come in with new, bright ideas and different, to me, different players who kind of give Tottenham fans just a different look of where, to me, where the club could go, could be something very, very, very refreshing. Sometimes you got to kill it from the inside. So what's that saying? You got to kill it from the inside to build. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sure there's something beautiful out there, but I don't have the vocabulary
I
for
think
it.
Ronaldo mentioned it when he left United, but yeah, sorry, go.
Maybe, but like, as much as we've just spoken quite optimistically, sorry, Spurs fans, I'm going to bring it down a level again. If you are, what was his name? I should know this. Glasner was his name, the Frankfurt boss. If you are Glasner, right? If you are Luis Enrique, I don't know if you're looking at the Spurs job and going, oh, man, this is it. I can really turn things around. I'm going to be the one. Because I think historically you go, wait. So Pochettino left or was kind of fired or whatever because he wasn't doing as well as he thought he was. Nuno, who again had skin in the game and respect with Wolves and the job that he'd done, couldn't do it. Jose Mourinho couldn't do it. Oh, okay. Antonio Conte couldn't do it. Oh, geez. Well, I mean, not to doubt myself here and my ability to manage this football team, but I mean, where is your optimism and your faith in being able to come in and do this kind of job? I think a lot of prospective managers, James, who maybe have fragile reputations, are going to turn down that job and go, I don't want that mess. I don't want that mess. I don't need that stress in my life.
Jack, I can agree with you to a certain point, but I look at it from two sets. If you're a top level manager, like for instance, Thomas Tuchel, though Thomas Tuchel was linked with the job, he's saying, no, I can get a much bigger job than that. He was linked with the Real Madrid job, and obviously he got the Bayern Munich job.
Perfect for him.
Exactly. All top level managers, I don't think that they would batter an eyelid at the Tottenham job. Let's just listen. Let's just be too honest. No disrespect, but if you're a lower level manager to a certain point, like a Thomas Frank or Nagelsmann, you go in there, Jack, with not much to lose, because they'll look at but they'll look at the fans before. I mean, the managers before, and the way the club is that I can't do a bad job here, because if things do go wrong there, I can do what? I can blame the board. I can blame the players. Fault. They didn't give me. They didn't give. It's for a manager.
I know what you mean.
It's a bit of a win-win for them. You go in there, if you succeed, like I was the man that done it. You know,
right?
If I fail, look behind me. If those guys couldn't do it, no one can do it. To me, that's the way it kind of goes right now.
I might be wrong on Nagelsmann, and obviously all the stars are pointing, all the signs are pointing towards that it should be him, and maybe he'll come in with fresh ideas and it'll be great and blah blah blah. But I got to be honest with you, being fired from Bayern, going to Spurs and not doing a good job, I think his stock goes down. Whereas somebody like Thomas Frank, you've got it great at Brentford. I mean, you could go in and kind of risk it all and see what happens. But it's really, really scary for me. I would be really scared.
I think if you're Nagelsmann, you already finished the international campaign as went into international break as a manager, and then
Yeah,
you go on holiday, you're on you're skiing, and you find out you're not manager anyway. He's probably not manager mode. So if he gets a call from Tottenham right now with 10 games to go, he's probably looking at it. I can potentially get this team Champions League, have more money to spend, and then go and then go straight in like in the summer. So to me, I look at Nagelsmann, I look at the way he plays and all that sort of stuff being mentioned. I think that's the biggest thing for Tottenham fans. Antonio Conte style of play was draining. Mourinho style of play was draining to watch. Maybe
right.
somebody like Nagelsmann coming in with this expansive way of football could be something that they really, really like they really want to see. So to me, I think at some point it will happen. The Pochettino thing, leave it there.
I would
Nagelsmann
too. Yeah,
is it seems to be the only real option, Jack, and it
I
makes sense. A manager who just got sacked is probably raring to just get back and just get back coaching the team. So I think it will be him, Jack.
I've got a short list of three. My priority list would be Luis Enrique one, but I don't think he'd take that job. So I mean, I would try, but I don't think he'd take it. Who I think I would go for Thomas Frank. I think there's
Okay.
something there because the football's good. I think he's proven it over enough time. I think he would have good references, let's call it. And then the third one, I think I would take a punt on Julian Nagelsmann. But like, man, I wouldn't be feeling great about this if I was
Do you
Spurs
know
fans. I
another
really wouldn't.
manager? Sorry, Jack. Do you know another manager who I think he's in a Premier League job right now, and at a time his stock was massive, and now it's dropped big time. Is Brendan Rodgers? I just feel like
Right.
I look at the way he is, like as a manager. I look at his build, like overall as a coach, it fits a Tottenham profile. You
And it's
know,
coming to the end there at Leicester, isn't it? With him, I think.
so
Feels like it.
to me that could be another option. But to get a manager who's already in a job is quite tough there. So I'm guessing they're going to look for candidates outside. But
Well, and to maybe break James's heart, maybe they'll go for Patrick Vieira. And on that note, no, I'm kidding. That would never happen. Um,
nah, Vieira. Cool.
ladies and gentlemen at home, let us know what you think. Again, I think most of you knew this was coming. I just think that for me, the interesting conversation is who comes in next. And I mean, what sort of a risk is that? Or is it a free hit and maybe they won't give it their all because they can just have, they've got the scapegoat to just blame. It is the way of the Tottenham, right? Maybe that would just be their way of doing it.
It's the history of the
Um,
Tottenham.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Drop a like on the video if you like what you've seen, even though it's been a kind of depressing video. Subscribe if
Also
you're not.
depressing. Jack,
James,
Tottenham doing
anything else
bad.
from you?
We love it. We love it, guys. This is not depressing. Look at me. I'm smiling. Guys, like, share, and subscribe. And Tottenham fans, if you dislike me, subscribe and obviously hit the like button. We'll see you guys next time.
Subscribe for me, not for
Oh yeah,
James.
no, yeah. Subscribe for Jack and like for me. Yeah. We'll see you next time.